Ready for an adventure? Put on your space helmet and strap into your seat. 3, 2, 1, blast off! We are leaving Earth and flying right up into space to explore our cosmic neighborhood. This animation shows how our entire space family fits together. Think of the solar system like a giant playground. Everything here moves in a big circle because of something called gravity. Gravity is like an invisible hug from the center of the playground, keeping all the planets from floating away into the dark. But what is giving that giant hug? Do you see that enormous glowing ball right in the middle? That is the sun. Even though it lives with the planets, the sun is actually a star, just like the ones you see twinkling at night, only much closer to us. It is so huge that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside it. All of that size means the sun has a lot of energy. It acts like a giant warm campfire for the whole solar system, giving us the light we need to see and the heat plants need to grow. Without the sun's bright light to keep us warm and its gravity hug keeping us close, our space neighborhood wouldn't exist. Everything here revolves around the sun. Let's steer our ship and see the planets up close. Can you spot the one moving the fastest? That tiny zooming ball is Mercury. It is the smallest planet, and because it is right next to the sun, a whole year there goes by super fast. Right next door is Venus. You might guess Mercury is the hottest because it's closest to the sun, but Venus is actually hotter. It is completely wrapped in thick, heavy clouds that trap the sun's heat, working like a giant winter blanket. Now look at this beautiful photograph. Do you recognize those bright blue oceans, green land, and swirls of white clouds? That is our home, Earth. It has the water we need to stay alive, and a friendly neighbor watching over the oceans, our moon. Looking at this next photo, you can see a very different landscape. This is the surface of Mars. From far away in space, Mars looks like a glowing red ball. Up close, we can see it gets that color because the ground is covered in rusty, reddish-brown dust. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are neighbors. Together, we call them the inner solar system. If you took a spaceship to any of these 4 planets, you would find hard rocks and solid ground that you could actually stand on. As we fly further out, the planets get much, much bigger. The true giant of the group is Jupiter. It is so wide that you could fit all the other planets inside it. It even has a massive swirling storm called the Great Red Spot that has been blowing for hundreds of years. Now watch as we fly through this video. Look at all those floating pieces of sparkly ice and rock. We are flying right through the beautiful, wide rings of Saturn. Saturn is huge, but it is surprisingly light. In fact, if you could build a bathtub big enough to hold it, the entire planet of Saturn would bob up and float in the water just like a giant rubber duck. Next up is a blue-green planet called Uranus. Instead of spinning like a top the way Earth does, Uranus is tipped all the way over. It rolls sideways around the sun like a giant bowling ball. Hold on to your helmets for this last one. Way out in the freezing cold is Neptune. It is the furthest major planet from the sun, and it has the strongest, wildest winds in our whole neighborhood. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are totally different from our rocky home. We call them the gas and ice giants. They are made almost entirely of thick, swirling clouds and freezing liquids. If you tried to land a spaceship on them, you would sink into the clouds because there is no solid ground at all. Hold tight. We are steering our ship through a crowded space highway called the asteroid belt. It is a path filled with thousands of tumbling, bumpy rocks left over from when the planets were born. Oh, look at that glowing streak in this video. That is a comet. Comets are like giant, dirty snowballs made of ice and dust. When they fly close to the warm sun, their ice starts to melt, creating a beautiful, bright tail that shoots out behind them. Way out past Neptune, we can wave hello to the dwarf planets. The most famous one is Pluto. It might be tiny and living at the very freezing edge of our neighborhood, but it has a big icy heart on its surface. Zooming comets, tumbling asteroids, and tiny dwarf planets show us that our solar system is a busy, diverse place. There is a huge variety of unique objects to find here, far beyond the 8 major planets. So who are the brave people who actually go out and explore all of this? Look at this photograph. This is an astronaut suit. Astronauts are the daring explorers who launch from Earth to learn about space in person. Out in space, there is absolutely no air to breathe. Astronauts have to wear these thick, sealed suits, which carry their own air and protect them from the freezing cold, so they can walk around safely outside their ship. But space is huge, and some places are just too far for humans right now. That's why we send amazing robots to do the exploring for us. This photo was taken on Mars by a robotic rover, driving around the rusty dirt and snapping pictures to send all the way back to scientists on Earth. It is time to turn our ship around and head home. We're flying past windy Neptune, sideways Uranus, floating Saturn, giant Jupiter, rusty Mars, and right back past the glowing moon, and landing safely back home. But the adventure doesn't end here. You can start your own space exploration tonight. All you have to do is look up at the night sky. The universe is full of mysteries, and we're waiting for someone like you to solve them.